This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Haba. We're continuing Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua. Before we continue in siman Pei Tesef Gimel, I just want to give you an executive summary of the halachos of greeting someone before davening. You know, there are different opinions. Let's try to get a little clarity. Bottom line, are you allowed to greet someone before davening? So the Mechaber started off by saying that once his man tefillah comes, you cannot go to your friend's door to give him shalom. So that for sure you can't do. You can't knock on someone's door to give him shalom. You can't even go and knock on his door to say good morning. The only if you have other reason to be there by his door, then when you get there you could say good morning. However, if you happen to meet him on the road, you're even allowed to say shalom. So if you're walking by and you meet someone on the road, you're allowed to say shalom. That's me'ikar hadin. But there's a chumrah which we're noyeg, namely the so midina. If you meet someone walking down the street, you're allowed to say shalom. However, nahagu kadmainenu. There's a early important custom not to say shalom when you meet someone on the road. You should change your expression. You say good morning. If you normally say good morning, say top of the morning. If you normally say top of the morning, say near the top of the morning. You're Mishna. However, the Mishnah Berura said if you already said brachos, then we're not machmer on this. Okay? So me'ikar hadin, if you meet someone on the road, okay, so to go to someone's house and say shalom, you can't do. To go to someone's house and say good morning, you can't do unless you have other reason to be there. To leave your seat in a shul and to go say good morning to someone, you can't do. What if you already said brachos? It's not clear that you could do that if you already said brachos. It's not clear that you could get out of your seat and go to someone and say good morning, even if you already said brachos. However, if you bump into someone, me'ikar hadin, you're allowed to say shalom. We're machmer not to say shalom. However, if you said brachos, then we're not machmer. Yeah? So the only question is, if you already said brachos, can you get out of your seat and go to someone in shul and say, welcome, good morning, good morning? Yeah? That's the question. Okay, now we're up to what you're allowed to do before davening. Now, if you stayed with us for the last, year and change, please do not leave after today's shiur. Okay? We're going to learn about what you're allowed to do before davening, and could you eat or drink before davening. So anyone who's drinking now and didn't daven, first of all, make sure you do it out of the right cup, and then second of all, we'll see what you're allowed to do. So the Mechaber said it's asur to be oisek in your needs, or to go on the road, or to travel before you daven Shemona Esrei. Okay, that we saw yesterday. And the Ramah says, "V'yish mekilin la'achar she'amru miksas brachos kodem she'amru brach she'amru samar mekel." After you said some brachos, v'toiv lahachmer mazeh. It's good to be machmer, meaning not to travel until you davened Shemona Esrei. Says the Mishnah Berura, Sivkatan Chav Ad Sheyispalva, Filim b'makom sheyava yeh yachal gam ken l'spal matzir b'zmanoi. Say, what do you mean? I'm traveling to a place, I'll be able to daven with a minyan there, also, and daven bizman, afal pi kein aser. The halicha badarach have ka'isek b'tzrachav. Going on the road is like doing your needs. Now, if it's l'tzarach mitzvah, you're allowed to. Now, what if you're traveling to a makom miyuchad? I want to travel to the Koisel Hamaravi, or I want to travel to a kever. Then you could. Because you're traveling to a makom miyuchad l'tfila. If there's a pressing circumstance, the caravan will not wait for you. You could go before you daven and daven on the road. What if you're afraid that if you wait till after davening, your trip will be heavily delayed? You could travel before, says Rav Glatstein. Gam kein mutter bezeh. From the Poskim Mashma that b'shas hadchak, even if after nates, it would be permitted. Some people, they like to daven by their work. Why? Not sure. That's the best minyan that fits into their schedule. Otherwise, if they daven back at home, I guess they'll get stuck in traffic. So Rav Vosner writes in Chelik Chasam Yotes, then you could travel before tefillah, say Berchas HaShachar, and you'll daven in the place where you need to daven. Now, here's the big issue. V'loi lechal, v'loi leshtais. You can't eat and you can't drink. You're not to eat or drink before davening. Avomayim, but water, mutter lishtais kaidam tefillah. It's permitted to drink before davening, bein b'chal, whether weekday, uvein b'shabbos v'yamtiv. V'chein acholim umashkim l'refuah mutter. If you need to eat or drink for refuah, it's mutter. That's why in the hotels they have these big cheesecakes, because it's medicine. Yeah, people are eating it for medicine, for health benefits. People are eating, even though it looks like cheesecake, really it's full of omega-3 fish oil. So people eat it for refuah. But what if it's actually cheesecake? It's aser. It's aser. You're not allowed to eat before davening. Is it dairaisa or drabanan? It might be dairaisa. Say dairaisa? The tefillah itself is drabanan. But the eating before might be dairaisa. Now, the big issue is coffee. Are you allowed to have coffee? The good news is you're allowed to have water. One of the greatest pleasures in life is water. Is drinking water when you get up in the morning. By the way, Rav Miller would say, when you get up in the morning, drink a cup of water. It's a very healthy thing. It gets your system going. You'll daven better. You'll lose weight. It gets your metabolism going. When you get up in the morning, drink water. Anyway, that's free advice. V'loi lechal. Now, if you're not eating, v'oiver hazeh, amru chazal, she'olav amar akosov, v'oisi hishlachta achari gavecha. Someone who eats before davening, the pasuk says, and you threw me after your body. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, la'achar sha'achal v'shasa v'nizga'a, after you ate and drank and are arrogant, then kibal ha'machshmayim, v'gam hismichu devreim ala pasuk, loy soichu al adam. An asmachta to this is don't eat on the blood, which means don't eat before you pray for your blood. Even tasting. Now, even tasting is asr. They have, omelet stations and waffle stations and French toast. Can't eat any of it. Not before davening. You can't eat it before davening. What about cake? You can't eat it before davening. What about an apple? You can't eat it before davening. What about an orange? You can't eat, period, before davening. What about drinking? You can only drink water. That's what the Mechaber says. Why? Because the reason now to eat is because of gaiva. But water is not gaiva. It says Mishur lo shaykh bu gaiva. V'dafka b'loit sukkar. You can't put sugar in your water. Avlam sukkar aser. To put sugar in your water is aser. V'chol shekein mashka sheichar. To have beer, vade aser. Now what about, the $1 million question is caffeine. So you can have water and swallow a caffeine pill. That's for sure mutter. It's medicine. What about coffee? V'ti v'coffee mutter lishtois kaidam tefila kadei sheyuchal chav da'at asbal. Tea and coffee you could drink before davening in order to be mechavein. Uv'frapa ha'makomer sh'regilin bahem, especially in a place where it's part of the culture and it's customary. Ve'ein misyashiv hadas biltam. You can't focus without them. As long as v'chol zeh b'loit sukkar, as long as you don't put sugar uv'loy chalav, without milk. So are you allowed to put sugar and milk in coffee? No. However, it says the minhag ha'olam is to be makel, to put in sugar. Ve'efshir, the kavanas ha'achroinim, it could be the kavanah of the achroinim is ve'chein haradvaz shekasav the im tzukar ein lecha gaiva gedolim mizu kadam atfila. that the Achronim say that to drink coffee with sugar, there is no greater gaiva before davening. That's rakim noisin hat sugar b'toich hati lamatkai. That's if you put the sugar to make it sweet. Dezeu aser kaidem atfila. Avom lokech ma'at sugar bepiv be'is hashtia. If you put a little sugar in, uvilti zen, without it, ein yachal lishtas hati, ein zeh b'chal gaiva. So in other words, it depends why you put in the sugar. So again, me'ikar hadin, you can't put sugar or milk in your coffee. The Achronim say there's no greater arrogance than putting sugar in your coffee. But it could be, that's if you put it in to sweeten it. But what if you put a little in your mouth just to down it? Otherwise you can't even get it down. So then it would be permitted. This would be justification for the minhag ha'olam. Hayotzim midvarenu. What emerges is the benesinas hatzukar b'toich hati, to put sugar in the tea, or to have a little cake in your mouth, because you don't want to drink the tea and the coffee in an empty stomach. Meaning to put sugar into the tea or the coffee, or to have a little cake in your system, because you don't want to drink on an empty stomach. Ein shum sad lahakal b'zeh kadna tefillah. There is no normative halachic opinion that it is permitted. So you cannot put sugar in your coffee, and you cannot put cake in your stomach, just so that you don't want to have it on an empty stomach. Unless, of course, you're diabetic, and you're sickly, and you're ill, and you're a choila. Okay, you're a choila, what could you do? You'll have to eat a little bit. Im lo mi sheyesh chalishas halev, or you're very weak, v'utzarach zel l'refua. However, how could you put the sugar? You put a little in your mouth so you could down the coffee. The Dirshu brings, everybody knows that Rav Shlomo Zalman says that in our times that everybody drinks coffee with sugar, and it's come out impossible to drink it without it. You're allowed to put sugar in your coffee according to Rav Shlomo Zalman. And the Marsham says you could even put a little milk. And the Aruch HaShulchan says the oilam is noyeg to put milk because it's just giving it a little taste. Rav Shlomo Zalman paskin this way, Rav Elyashiv paskin this way. In my yeshiva, we follow the Mishna Berura. I have never put one molecule of sugar in my coffee. I don't think ever. But before davening.
How is it gaiva? I don't understand that.
You're having enjoyment before davening. Why are you like indulging before davening? You're basically, sugar is energy, so you're energizing yourself. You're powering up to make you feel better. First pray. By the way, even though everyone puts sugar in their coffee, the second greatest pleasure in life is straight coffee without sugar. It takes time. There is no greater, I'm telling you hana, now I'm telling you tanugei olam hazeh. There is no greater pleasure than Shabbos morning, plain coffee. Sugar, sorry. What? Sugar doesn't even taste good. Do it 3 times, you won't even like it anymore. I couldn't say that, but here we have one of the biggest Meir derech to the Nashim Sikania. I don't like it with sugar. Anyway, but
Rabbanan said, I heard this on Shiurim, this man is that sugar is not such a choshev azak like it used to be. It's just a household thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As I say, there are Rabbi Elyashiv and Rav Shlomo Zalman say it's good. The Mishna Berura does not allow it. Okay. Umikol makom. Toiv shiur. Now, if somebody is old, the truth is, if somebody is old and they can't daven unless they have some food, so that's considered l'tzarach refuah. That's a legitimate. The problem is Shabbos morning you're going to get yourself into all kinds of questions of kiddush. Now, I will tell you something interesting. The whopper is, if you put milk in your coffee, according to the Bir Halacha, you might have to make kiddush Shabbos morning. You know that? Because there are 2 things. One is you can't eat before davening. What about eating without kiddush? According to Bir Halacha and Hilchos Shabbos, and nobody does this, but there's another thing to think about. The Mishnah Berura holds you may have to make kiddush if you're having your Starbucks flavored coffee with milk creamer and sugar. You might have to make kiddush. Certainly, if you're having cake before davening, you have to make kiddush. People don't do this. All right, they were never zocheh to learn the Mishnah Berura, but that's the halacha. Anyway, well, let's hold it over here. We'll pick it up as Hashem next time. Okay, hatzlacha.
You're allowed to make kiddush before davening, or it doesn't come like the after.
Are you allowed to? You have no choice. The guy has to eat. I had my wisdom teeth pulled, so I had to take antibiotic first thing in the morning, but I couldn't take it on an empty stomach. But the only thing I could eat is chocolate pudding. You can make kiddush on chocolate pudding? I'm a Mishnah Berura man. Kiddush on chocolate pudding. You drink...
The chocolate pudding you weren't eating because you wanted to eat. You're eating a l'refuah.
I know that. Avada. But you still have to make kiddush.
You still make a bracha on it.
What?
Why are you making a bracha on it?
Because you only don't make a bracha on medicine, but if you're eating because you need it, l'refuah, you make a bracha. I don't know why I said that online, but I said it. So that I'm saying, if you're eating l'refuah, somebody who's elderly, or somebody says, well, my davening in shul, they daven from 9 to 12, and I'm going to be from 10:30 on. I'm getting grouchy if I don't eat. So daven at a regular minyan where they take 2 hours. They start at 8:30, and you won't be grouchy. Have a good day, everyone. Please come back after the share. Kol tov.
Recording stopped.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.